Welcome. I'd like to call this Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. It's now 4:30. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence after? Okay, thank you, Commissioner. And we have a roll call for tonight's commissioners.
Merrick,
Here.
Little Presley,
Here.
Kasperky,
Here.
Myrick,
Here.
Hubbard.
Here, for the record, all five are present. Number 3 is a declaration of conflict of interest. Okay. Number 4 is communications.
None were received.
Okay. Brings us to number 5, our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. Looks like we might have 6 applicants.
Yes, everyone's here except for Majestic Lee. She had an medical emergency today.
Okay, understandable. Can the applicants come forward? Kind of gather around the podium and then one at a time, if you could just kind of introduce yourself to the commission here, and they might have a question or two for you.
Okay. My name is Reginald Chandler, and I'm seeking.
Mr. Chandler, how did you hear about our program?
I'm
You
seeking
don't need-
assistance.
You don't need to make speeches. We're fine.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I didn't know what you
How did you hear
expected.
about our program?
Um,
How did you hear about our
My
program?
wife told me about it.
My wife told you.
Yeah.
She's here with you?
Yes, sir.
And you're building a new home.
And where did she hear
Yes,
about our
sir.
program?
United Neighborhoods, Inc.
Okay,
Gave me the information about the housing program.
okay, good. Okay. Next person behind you guys.
My name is Angel Zamudio,
And how did you hear about our program?
through my bank,
May we ask who's your banker?
People's Bank.
People's Bank? Eric, is it?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, through Eric.
Okay. We're not gonna bite, come on.
Hi, my name is Celia Ramirez.
And how did you hear about our program?
Through my realtor, I have a great realtor,
Who's your realtor?
Jennifer Hinojosa.
Oh, Jennifer, we all
Yeah.
know Jennifer.
Yeah,
Okay, great, great.
And you're a teacher.
I am, special education.
All right.
And next,
My name is Maria Dominguez.
and how did you hear about the program?
The lady for the real estate,
I'm sorry, the lady from,
Carmen Moyo.
It's her lender.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You did good.
And last but not least,
No, 2 more.
Thank you. Jessica Peterson Rogers.
and how did you hear about our program?
From my real estate agent, Tammy Randall.
Who?
Tammy Randall with McCauley and Highland.
I don't know. I'm a realtor as well. I don't know. I know a lot of them, but I don't know her.
Oh, okay.
Is anybody else?
Everyone's a first-time home buyer?
Make the motion. Sorry.
Mr. President, I move for the approval of the 6 homebound conditional forgivable loans.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for the 6 applicants. Can we get a roll call on that, please?
Merrick,
Yes.
Little Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, motion passes. 5 yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You may be excused if you like. Thank you for taking the time to come out.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a note for the next meeting on the 17th of this month. The applicants that I have will be attending the first-time home buyers class at the same time as this meeting is going on. And if they leave early, they won't receive their certificate. So I just informed everyone if they can come to another meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That'd be great, thank you.
Give her my name.
Okay, next is our subordination request approval for Ruby Blackman, 920 May Street.
Yes.
How are you this evening?
What do you think? Well, fine, how are you?
My review of the package seems to show that all underwriting guidelines have been met and within our standards and such, so unless somebody has any questions, I personally don't see a problem with this.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the subordination request approval for Ruby Blackman for 920 May Street. I'm sorry.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the subordination request approval. That's for Ruby Blackman at 920 May Street. Let's get a roll call on that, please.
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Espricki?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Thank you for coming out.
Thank
May be excused.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That was painless, right? Okay, number 7's First Amendment to the agreement between the City of Hammond, acting by and through its Redevelopment Commission, and United Neighborhoods, Inc.
Members of the commission, what you have is, in the amendment, is just an extension of some of the dates for United Neighborhoods, Inc. to get the renovation of this property completed. They ran into a little bit of an issue, the city and United Neighborhoods, Inc. did, with the fact that there was a historic designation to the property. So getting the certification took longer, and there were some issues with dealing with lead-based paint and, was there asbestos too? I don't remember. I think it was mostly lead-based paint. But in order to get the certification and the approval of the SHPO, or SHPO, I'm not, the acronym for the Historic Preservation Organization, it took a little bit longer. So we've just extended these deadlines. The idea is to have this done by the early fall and have this property marketed and sold this fall.
Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of the First Amendment to agreement between the City of Hammond, acting by and through its Redevelopment Commission and United Neighborhoods Incorporated.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Okay, number 8's an approval of Hammond Innovation Center parapet wall repair.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find some pictures of the property located at 5209 Holman Avenue, also known as the Hammond Innovation Center. You will see from the pictures that there's some damage that's done to the top of the parapet wall on the building. And if you look closely, you'll see that it appears that some of the bricks have fallen off and they're definitely unstable. So at this time, what we're proposing is the repair of the parapet wall. And there's a quote or a recommendation from the building commissioner stating that he suggests the roofing, the option with the roofing for $49,552, that this is the best choice, and we wanted to do this before there's further disrepair that's done to this building. We definitely don't want anyone to walk past and a brick fall on them or someone is harmed. The building, as you know, is owned by Hammond Redevelopment Commission, and I have Jen Bussey here from HIC if you have any questions at all for her, but I believe it's sort of self-explanatory as far as the disrepair to the building. It is an older building, and as you know, it's very important for us to keep the maintenance of the older buildings intact.
I understand the maintenance, and certainly visually, it looks like it needs to be done. And I see that there's a non-licensed contractor, which is, very, very easy to say, but shouldn't we have more bids on a $50,000 project?
We did, that was she can come, they have additional bids. That was his recommendation. They had different.
So we had 3 bids. One we found out was not licensed, so that one's not exactly valid. There was one from Bruno's Tuck Pointing. It wasn't as extensive. He also had pictures. If anybody wants to see it, I have a copy of it now. And that bid came in for the south wall for $8,920 and $7,545 for the west wall, or actually it's the east wall.
So we presented all that information to the building commissioner. He also had an opportunity to go by the building and assess the situation personally. And after he reviewed it, upon review, his recommendation was the extensive repair of 40, I think it's 43 or whatever is listed in here. But we always get at least 3 quotes. It did take a little bit longer. Sometimes we can't get it as quickly as we would like. But prior to us bringing anything before the board, we do get 3 quotes. And if we are not able to get 3 quotes, then we'll let you know. We've reached out to them and they weren't able to provide a quote for whatever reason.
So this includes a roofing and a brick repair?
The parapet wall and the roofing, yes.
Okay, for a flat roof, okay.
I certainly trust Mr. Vale's experience in these things. Like I say, I just read the one line item for the price, that's all, so. Mr. President, I move for the approval of the Hammond Innovation Center project wall repair as per Bob Vale's recommendation.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the Hammond Innovation Center parapet wall repair at 5209 Holman Avenue. Can we get a roll call on that, please?
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Tesbricki?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Hopperidge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you.
Okay, number 9's approval of fire alarm monitoring system for the Hammond Innovation Center at 5209 Holman Avenue.
Members of the commission, if you look in your package, you will find a quote from Tri-Electronics. This is for alarm system for the HIC, or for the Hammond Innovation Center. This as well is maintenance for the building. I believe there was an older system that we were having problems with. Jen, if you would like to come to the podium at this time and potentially have any questions. But as you know, that this building is rented to different tenants, so we have to make sure that there are certain things that are in compliance. I believe the fire department did go through, this is a necessary service that we have to offer, not just because we own the building, but also because for safety reasons, we want to make sure that we're compliant and that we keep our building safe as much as we ask other people to keep theirs safe as well.
Correct. This was the fire inspector came through, and this was one of his recommendations. We were having random fire calls that would go off in the middle of the night. They can't trace it down. It was obviously some kind of problem with the system, so they came, we had the quote to come in and fix that issue. The system is old. It's been in the building, I think, over 20 years. So it's just a, typical maintenance issue. And unfortunately, at some times during the possession of the building, things were not really looked after. So now we're kind of going through with a fine tooth comb and make sure that we're up to date. So this is just one of our final safety issues that we need to tackle.
It says $24 a month, which is cheap, quite honestly, but in addition to the current monthly.
Yes.
So.
How much is the current monthly?
I don't have the figure off the top of my head, I'm sorry. That's something that HDC pays for. it's part of our billing, so it's just something that we pay for. It's not anything that the HRC pays for.
Need a fire system.
Yes.
Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of the fire alarm monitoring system for the Hammond Innovation Center at 5209 Holman Avenue.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the approval of the fire alarm monitoring system for the Hammond Innovation Center at 5209 Holman Avenue. Can we get a roll call on that, please?
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Kasperky?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 10 is approval of contractor award recommendation for the 1,500,000 gallon radial arm rehabilitation project.
Members of the commission, you'll recall, this is the second time we've gone out to bid on the Columbia Avenue water tank. You have in front of you the recommendation from Dixon Engineering, who is the company that helped us with the specs through the water department. You have a notice of award to utility service company. They're out of Georgia, but they were the lowest, lowest responsive and responsible bidder.
Didn't this come before us once before? Didn't we approve this already?
No, well, no, it came before you, you didn't approve it. What happened was, is we went to bid at the tail end of last year, and we were concerned because there was an issue with a transformer and some NIPSCO lines that needed to be moved, and there was an issue with, we were concerned about the timing of the award and when the work could be done, because what bidders were saying was that they'd have to split the work up. They would only get part of it done in the fall before the snow really started flying, and then they would have to kind of suspend and then remobilize in the spring. So we were concerned about the pricing there, as well as leaving it that way over the winter. So the decision was, at that point, was to not award and to rebid this, which we did, and we opened the bids a few weeks ago, so that it could all be done this spring and early summer.
So this one fits our parameters better.
Yes.
That being said, Mr. President, I move for the approval of contractor and award recommendation for 1,500,000 gallon radial arm rehab project.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further questions for Attorney Westland on this? It is a big project.
It's necessary, though. I mean, it's been, that water tank has, it needs to be done. Let's put it that way. I mean, if you drive past it, it's
Oh,
going to look a
absolutely.
heck of a lot better when we're done.
It's an eyesore, either direction, north or south on Columbia, you can really see it.
I wouldn't use that term. but-
Well, the top is, anyway. Okay, then, let's have a roll call.
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Kasperky?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppers?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. All right, number 11 is a request for a waiver of square footage requirement and restrictions covenant for Lost Marsh Estates. That's for Lot 1.
Members of the commission, if you can come up, Lakeisha. Members of the commission, if you look in your package, you will find a request or a variance or waiver for the development standard of the minimum living space for the square footage requirement at the Lost Marsh Estates subdivision, specifically Lot 1. As you know, a similar waiver request has been brought before you previously for the first home that was built. Basically, this request is to amend the square footage requirement of the home, of the two-story home, from what was advertised to what the builder can, or what the homeowner would prefer. Lakeisha Gerder is here, she's the Assistant City Planner. She has been working with the homeowner, and she's here to answer any questions that you may have regarding this development.
You know, Wally and I were discussing this a little earlier. Now, from what they submitted, it said 3,400 square feet when this was first done in 2018. When did they change it to 3,500 square feet?
And so the petitioner, Ms. Castellan, who couldn't be here today, is requesting that the square footage is what was advertised by the Redevelopment Commission when the lots were put out to bid. In the legal notice that's attached from 2018, it states a range of 2,800 to 3,400 square feet. Her proposed plans show that she has 3,410 square feet, so she's a little over the advertised requirements. But in the recorded subdivision, the requirements were for any structure that was 2 stories, it actually had to be 3,500 square feet. And those were the covenants that were recorded with the subdivision. And so Ms. Castellan is asking for a waiver in those requirements. And as stated previously, last February, you all approved a waiver for lot 6, who are the Mr. and Mrs. Lavasco. Their house was 2 stories, it was only 2,800 square feet. And so Ms. Castellan's house will actually be only 100 square feet away from the regulations, as opposed to the Lavasco's house would be approximately 700 square feet less than those regulations.
Okay, and now that you bring it up, I do remember. Well, I mean, I personally don't have a problem. It's 80 square feet. I mean, it still will fit the character of the neighborhood. But as Wally and I were discussing, so will this become a common occurrence if we, you know?
I mean,
If we keep changing the standard, the minimum requirement becomes meaningless.
I mean, in this case, this will only be the second house out of the 6 lots that are being constructed. I can say that the value of the current house at 3,400 square feet, it will cost $300,000 to construct. To add the additional approximately 100 square feet, this would incur a cost to the owner of between $8,000 and $10,000. And so that is why the owner submitted the request, because they felt that they were meeting the spirit of the regulations and all of the other applicable covenants would apply. But, I mean, the house is already worth $310,000, but I defer to the board on whether or not they feel that adding the additional square feet constitutes as a financial hardship.
Commissioner Kesbricki, what I will say is, because I'm keeping an eye on this development quite closely, and the home that was previously granted a waiver, it's a beautiful home. In no way, shape, or form does it look like the standard has been lessened. And from the plans that I've looked at with this one, it looks like it will support that standard as well. At any such time we feel that that may not be met, then we will definitely meet internally and then let you know what the recommendation is internally from staff if we feel at any point in time that standard is going to be dropped, because we understand that it is a new residential development and we definitely want to make sure that we keep the standard pretty high. And I understand from your standpoint, you don't, but these, as you stated, this is the second home, and these are just some of the things that we're probably encountering. I don't anticipate this happening with the third home, but like I said, the first home is beautiful, and the plans for this one is beautiful. They're beautiful as well.
Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval for the request for waiver and square footage requirement and restrictions covenant for the Lost Marsh Estates for lot number 1.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call on that then?
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Kesbricki?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Hopperidge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Okay, that brings us to number 12, reports. Africa Tarver, would you like to share anything tonight?
I don't really have a report at this time. I just want to thank the commission for being so very supportive of some of the projects that we've had going forth in the past and some of the projects we're working on at this time. The commission has always been very supportive. I definitely appreciate the approvals that you've granted during this meeting with some of the buildings in the downtown area. regarding the maintenance of them and how you've been very supportive to bringing back and revitalizing the downtown area as well as other areas in the city. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Okay. Number 13 is our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the Register of Claims for February 10th, 2020 through March 2nd, 2020, for Register of Claims R58450 through R58523.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the register of claims. That's dating February 10th, 2020 through March 2nd, 2020. That is claim R58450 through claim R58523. Is there any questions on these claims for staff? Okay, roll call then.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kaspricki,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes. 5 yes. Number 14's no unfinished business.
None at this time.
Okay. Brings us to number 15, public comment. It is open now. If anybody would like to come forward and speak, you may do so. Okay, public comment closed. Before we adjourn, the Mayor's Commission Disabilities invite you to attend the 34th Annual Disability Awards Breakfast. It's Thursday, March 26th. That's 8 a.m. at Dynasty Banquets on 4125 Hyman Avenue. All right, then, number 16.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye? Aye. Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.